Welcome back to the Make a Baby podcast. I'm Carolina Sotomayor, and it's Friday. It's Supercharge your intuition for your fertility in 2024. We're going to talk about intuition, what it is, what it's not, and this is particularly important because I think intuition, it's hip now to manifest. It's hip to be an intuitive. It's hip to be a psychic. It's hip to have all of your crystals and your sage and all the things, your Palo Santo. So, but we're about making babies around here. So, what is intuition and how can we actually use this to help us get pregnant? Because that's what we're after. We want babies, we want to have families. So, like, how can we actually make this happen? So, let's start off with the first question. What is intuition and where does it come from and why does it matter? Well, intuition is your inner voice. It is your higher self speaking to you. It is universe speaking to you, but it is the limitlessness of life versus ego. Intuition is the opposite of ego, and these are the two voices that exist in your head. Ego is meant to keep you safe, and it has its purpose, but it's also going to limit you. Your intuition is going to be the one that expands you and says, it is possible. You can do a podcast and you can quit your corporate job and this is real, versus the ego might be like, no, this is not real. That is fake. No, you're not capable of doing that. Let's just stay right here. So these are all sets of belief. Your ego is what our existing beliefs are, whether they're limiting core beliefs, and our intuition is what is going to expand us past that. And our intuition is also our instincts, and it's also like our nature, our instincts from nature that are saying, yes, this is not it, or this is it. Or like when you meet a person and you're like, this person's good. Or maybe you meet a person, you're like, ick, that's gross, but you're not exactly sure why that person's ick or gross. Sometimes I meet people and I'm like, no, that's not the vibe. And they didn't say anything, they didn't do anything wrong, but it's just, I'm not a good vibrational match for them. And that's enough for me just to be like, I'm polite, I'm kind, and I don't say ick or gross, but I'm like, no, that's not a match for me. And that's enough for me to not proceed with whatever the situation is. My intuition is not just manifesting, but it is the instincts that are exactly going to lead you to abundance and also lead you to where you're going to go for alignment. And our intuition is usually the first thought in our head. And then what comes second is our ego. And our ego is what's going to keep us safe. So, like, maybe you are starting to become a psychic medium, or you see an orb, or you hear a voice, or you feel a sensation if you're trying to connect with your spirit baby. And you're like, was that real? And then the second thought is, no, that couldn't have happened. No. That's your ego is the one that's going to be like making, like, grounding you and making like you like, no, this is not it. No, that's not real. That's not possible. So that's why intuition versus ego is. And where does it come from? So your intuition is just going to be your inner voice. It's going to be your consciousness. It's going to be your conscience. It's going to be also just a fluid thought from your higher self, from universe. Also, when we're using our intuition, it is the most common way that spirit babies, God, universe, whatever is on the other side that you believe in, will speak to you. A lot of the spirit side will speak through thoughts. And why does your intuition matter? It is our internal compass. It is everything. I use my intuition to make decisions and to see if the situation or where I'm headed or if I'm going to travel feels right. Is this a good match for me or not? Is this what I want to do or not? Is this going to be the best outcome for me or not? And it really, for me, the more that I've trusted my intuition, the more success I've had, the better outcome for my family, for myself, the more that I have been proven that my intuition is to be trusted. How can you tell the difference between intuition, thought, fear, or imagination? So, the more that you use your imagination, the stronger your intuition will be because it is one and the same. Thoughts and fears are different. So, thoughts is could either be ego or intuition depending on what is first. Intuition tends to be the first thought that comes to your mind, and ego is the second, which is fear. So, I don't know what those balloons were. So, if you're listening to the audio, I did a motion. I'm holding up my fingers and balloons came up through the platform. So, I'm not exactly what that's about, but that's okay. Fear is ego. Anything that is meant to keep us safe, and because that is a defined area, that's what our ego is designed to do in its purpose. Just like, our ego is like, do not go down that dark alley. That can be dangerous. It's meant to keep you in the box with the parameters in which it knows and lives within. If you push beyond those parameters and what it is know is possible and what is like the boundaries, the box that we live in, then that's going to be painful. That's going to require growth. And that expansion comes from your intuition of saying, okay, where we're at point A, if we want to go to point B, we're going to have to try something different and we're going to have to believe something different. And that is we usually have what's something called an ego death. And that is the death of a limiting core belief or a limiting belief. And then you replace it with a new belief that then up levels. This usually is symptoms of a breakthrough, or like if you achieve something, or if you overcome something, or if you're coming out of grief. All of that is expansion. So it's not maybe obvious. Like if you're not a deeply spiritual person, or if you don't know the terminology, or if you're not like, sometimes if it's not obvious, you could be having these intuition expansions in ego deaths and not be even understanding it. Like, why is this so hard? Why can't I let go of this? Why is like, I thought I dealt with this and I'm back here again. It's an ego death. And that's just because your subconscious is trying so hard, one last thread, to stay in this reality, to stay with what it knows. And then your reality and your beliefs are pulling you forward into the new reality in which you've crafted and curated with the new replacement, higher belief, higher vibration. So that's the difference. How do you supercharge your mother's intuition? We all have the intuition. As a woman, as a person who's going to have a baby, because this is your year to have a baby, and I believe that you're going to have a baby, that how we supercharge our intuition is we choose ourselves. It's much more than just honoring ourselves. It's deciding what is the one thing today that I need to do to make me feel at home in my body, make me feel seen within myself, and that I didn't put myself last. And only you can decide that. Supercharging your intuition is practice, and it's choosing yourself and recognizing signs. And sometimes it's also just validating, like, my intuition is spot on. I decided last year I was going to adopt a belief that I make great decisions. And it made life a lot easier. And that core belief, like, allowed me to just, like, instantly, if I felt something, I didn't process more than that. It was like, what do I feel? Okay. Where did that come from? Great. Is this mine? Great. Okay. Then this is the decision. Like, it's just I have decision fatigue a lot of the time, and I'm actively working on remedying that. But for me, is like, what is the first thing I feel? Great. This is what I want to do. And I make decisions a lot faster because of what I'm tuned in to, what my intuition says. It's listening to me above all else. It's listening to the first thought. And this took a lot of practice. It took a lot of like prioritization. And sometimes I didn't. If you're hungry, tired, angry, like if all the things, you have to be presently in the moment, and you have to have capacity, and you have to have enough patience for it, um to actively, like, what is my body saying, what is my intuition saying, and then be like, okay, this is how I'm going to move forward. But over time it becomes almost then immediate, and natural. So like now I don't have to be so cognizant and conscious to be like outwardly trying to listen to my intuition. Now it's just like, this is it. So over time it gets easier. How you supercharge it, again, you just choose yourself over and over and over again. So like today I'm gonna batch some social media at the park. It's a little bit warmer. And I've been wanting to do this for like 8 days, and I've been so frustrated I haven't been able to go and do it. And I've gotten ready every day, but something's always come up. But this is gonna help me. This is gonna help me batch content and for social media. And it's really important to me, and I have really great ideas. And this is gonna make me feel safe in my body. This is gonna make, in choosing this, is also going to make me feel excited. So when you choose yourself and honor like just a thing that you're going to do today that is important to you, um your intuition is getting another validation. Oh, we're important. And that's just going to allow your whole system, and the rewiring of your brain is like, okay, we are real. What you think is real. Choosing you is correct. And like the intuition and the thoughts are very much valid. And that just like rewires you. Because what's happening is a lot of us are putting ourselves last because we're conditioned to deplete ourselves. We're rewarded if we sacrifice everything about ourselves for the betterment of others, and for other, like if we have other children in the house, or you get rewarded for being an overachiever. You're not going to get, you don't get a gold star for being tired and having nothing left for your fertility, your womb healing, or for yourself at the end of the day. That's what this podcast is for. We need to change that. We're disrupting that mindset. You deserve better. You deserve to live and have joy while you're trying to conceive your baby, and not be in a zombie state, because I see it too often. The Reiki can restore you, it can help you heal, but then if we don't change our habits, then we're going to be in this cycle. So your intuition is actually very good. Your instincts are very good. You may have been taught that you're not trustworthy, or to not trust your instincts, or someone may have told you you don't make good decisions. That's bullshit. Complete bullshit. You do make good decisions. And if you don't, let's talk about it. Send me a DM. What decisions do you feel like you're not making good decisions for? I bet you're doing way better than you believe you are. I used to think that I was doing terrible. But then when I talk to friends, when I talk to a therapist, when I talk to my hypnosis lady, I got my shit together, it turns out. Who would have thought? Anyway, okay. How can intuition be applied to your infertility? Okay. So your intuition is your guiding light. It's so touche. So your guiding light is also going to be like, if you're going to your doctor's office and you're observing it, maybe the front desk lady is not nice, or she's dismissive, or they had you waiting too long and people were like, whatever the scenario is. Then you go into the doctor's office, you're already probably a little triggered because doctor's offices are stressful. And then maybe the person that maybe of rotating doctors comes in, and they are just want to go into the appointment instead of introducing themselves, talking, and like getting acquainted. Your intuition might spike and be like, no, this is not right. This is not how I like to do things. So then your intuition is going to say something. And I hope that you trust that, because your intuition is going to also lead to you to self-advocate. This is an important skill that you need practice with. And a lot of women are too quiet, or they say something too late, or they never say anything at all. And it's because you're going to learn to advocate for your baby. Your baby is around you now. And if someone's in kindergarten and bullies your kid in whatever grade, you're not going to stay silent. You're not going to let anything happen. You are just as important as your future baby. So you are worth speaking up for. And your intuition is going to say, yes, this is a great place, or no, these people are not a good fit. And they're going to lead you to either have hard conversations to make the doctor's office better, or maybe somebody says something while you're trying to conceive and they say an insensitive comment, you could have a hard conversation later or when it's appropriate that you feel is best and say, hey, what you said on XYZ, it really hurt me and it felt insensitive to my fertility journey. Your intuition is going to protect you, it's going to preserve you, it's going to lead you, and it's always going to be honest with you on like, yes, this is a good fit for us or not. And it's always okay for you to switch doctors. Always okay to switch doctors. What is one thing that you could do today to apply this to your life? And it's the same thing I said earlier in the episode. What is one thing that you would do today that would make you feel either calmer or less stressed? For me, I need to do things in batches. I like to do things like in bulk. So I'm going to make a batch of 4 lasagnas later. And that's going to make me feel like I'm a really good mom and wife. And choosing that is going to allow me to feel like I did a good job. And that's for me because I made this goal for myself, and honoring myself in doing that is going to reinforce my intuition that I'm a priority. What I think is a priority, what I've planned is a priority. And that's going to make me happy. And when I'm happy, I'm going to be at a higher vibrational state. And you know what's going to happen then as a consequence, a positive consequence to my intuition? I'm going to be able to receive more. So intuition is not just guiding you and where you're supposed to go in decision making. It's also about receiving downloads. And we didn't talk about that. Intuition can allow us to receive psychic downloads from our spirit babies, higher selves, from God, universe, Mother Earth. And the more that you choose yourself and the more that you honor yourself instead of using words like should or supposed to, the more that you're going to be open to receive, the words that they say, eternal wisdom, divine feminine wisdom, your higher self's downloads. All of it's the same. And it's going to come through your intuition. It's going to be like a little thought that gets planted in your head. Sometimes it's repetitive, and you're often going to get them when you're in the shower, washing dishes, vacuuming, mopping, doing like a repetitive task. Maybe you're going for a walk or you're exercising. Those are all like prime moments that you're home in your body and your mind is relaxed, and that your spirit baby and your higher self and the universe is going to give you like an idea. And I'm sure they're like aha moments, and maybe you don't even realize you're getting them and that they're psychic moments already. So your intuition is all of that. And this is not, oh, someone else can do this. This is you. I used to think when I first got pregnant, the Reiki master said to me, she said, Caroline, you can do Reiki. And I was like, no. That's a you thing. I am not capable of that. This is a reminder you're capable of everything. And this is your reminder, you do have intuition and you have the ability to be a psychic, to download the things that your baby is saying to you. They want to talk to you. Your spirit guides want to talk to you. On the other side, just set the intention of love and light and for the highest well-being involved. That's how the messages are going to be, and you'll be fine. So supercharge your intuition for your fertility in 2024. Choose you. Choose you. I want you to go ahead and go to the first line in the show notes. We have a hyperlink and it's titled Ask Caroline Anything. I would love to hear your thoughts about this episode. You can click on that link and leave us a 90-second voice note or voice memo through SpeakPipe. And I would love to hear your thoughts on what you thought of this episode or how you're going to supercharge your intuition for your fertility in 2024. And also, we are allowing new members into the Make a Baby membership. If you would like to try the membership for 3 days, please go to our show notes and click that link. We'd love to see you on our next call. We have 2 live calls every single month. We have an office hours call where we do hot seat coaching and answer all of your questions about fertility and healing. And we have a live healing group call every month as well. We'd love to see you next week on our office hours calls. And the 23rd of January is our live healings call where we're doing our vision casting for motherhood. Love to see you on that call. If you have any questions, again, voice note us on SpeakPipe, and we'd love to see you here next week. Until then, friends, let the Reiki flow. Frustrated being told you are fine by your doctor, exhausted from negative pregnancy tests every month, wanting a deeper connection on your fertility journey with your spirit baby? The Make a Baby membership is exactly what you need. Using Reiki will help you connect to your spirit baby, heal the trapped emotions blocking fertility, and support you in our life-changing community. With over 90 Reiki babies, we invite you to try the Make a Baby membership for free. Check it out in the show notes. Let's get you pregnant.